Good afternoon, sea stars and sun stars. From my heart to your heart, we're coming to you live this beautiful Sunday, December 20th. I'm nursing some sinus issues here because the weather here in North Carolina has been pretty iffy. One day it is 50 degrees and sunny, the next day it is storming. So I'm working with it. Hello, beautiful people, come on in. Hopefully, our special guest will be here shortly. I have Nyasha Elaine um, that's going to be joining us. Um, Hi, beautiful. Um, Let me see how to do that. Hold on. Right. I'm just waiting for her to join the conversation. Today, we're talking about magic, talking about spirituality, intuition, and just overall good vibes. How are you, my love?
Hi, darling. Happy Sunday.
Man, this change, this DNA upgrade has been um kind of wreaking havoc on my body because I can feel the change happening. So
Yes,
it's been really affecting me in here. But that's
right here.
okay. I'm a trooper. Yeah. Um, I'm just excited of what is to come. I'll share some downloads that I received last night into the day. I just spent the day in meditation. Um, and the goddess took me to Uluru in Australia, and that's
Okay.
the center, the Earth solar plexus. So I've just been spending time there and really connecting because that's what we're gonna need going forward to the next level. So we've got a show jam packed for you today. Let me make sure she is here.
Hi, baby. I had to take my
Okay.
earpiece out.
I can't see you. I can't see you. Let me see what's going on with this thing. The internet has been sketchy. If anyone is wondering what's going on, 1 minute we're on, the next minute it's off. So until she comes back on, I'll just share some of the downloads that I received.
Can you not see me?
Um, I can't see you.
Really? I'm gonna leave and
No,
come back.
I can't see you at all. All right. She'll come out soon. So let me just share the downloads that I received over the course of since Friday. And we're talking about the crystal grid. I know everybody's been talking about crystals lately. There's a reason for that. This is because your DNA or your melanin has been connecting on a spiritual cosmic level. The crystal grid has been reset since December 12, 2012. Um, so you are connected to the crystal grid through your chakras. Okay, 1 second. All right, let's see if this works again. Nyasha, are you there? All right, we have you. So I was just talking about the crystal grid being activated since December 21st, 2012. The crystal grid is the emotional side of things for the goddess.
Yes.
Um, it brings in light and love. This is where the heart chakra connects to all living things. So we are connected to the crystal grid. And if you know what a grid is, you can go look up what a crystal grid is. It connects you with a divine goddess. Then we also have the light grid. The light grid is your consciousness grid, and that's where we are now. That's what's been happening. And we also talk about the solar flares. The solar flares are that we get from the sun is a cosmic upgrade from the central sun. The central sun gets its upgrade from the greater sun. The greater sun is in the Pleiadian constellation. That's where our sun gets its energy from. So they're all connected, and
Yes.
all of this energy is coming from the divine consciousness. So it's not just one thing that's happening. this has been happening over the course of time. This has happened along Atlantis times. Thoth and all, they try to get the consciousness going with the feminine energy. But as we know, the dark entities stepped in and started using magic, dark magic, which threw everything off. And keep in mind, this wasn't no Caucasian because it didn't exist at the time. This was us doing this. We dabbled in dark magic and it threw the grid out of whack. So we have paid the price all that time up until present. And they're trying this again with light and love. And that's where we're coming out of the Iron Age, which is the age of control, into the feminine age, which is of love and light. So that's a little bit of the downloads I got. Let's get started. We're talking about magic today, beautiful. Take it away. I'll ask questions as we go along. People may want to know what magic is, what that means to you as a goddess, as Empress. So what does that mean to you and the practice of magic? Or white magic?
Well, first, I want to make sure everyone can hear me okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you okay.
Hi, everybody. So listen, we are magic. I am magic, okay? And I'm glad that you said what you said about some of the downloads, because as I'm thinking about us over the weekend, I'm like, well, what is it that we need to know in order to tap into that? And it really comes from us taking back our divinity and standing in our power and the duality of it all. So personally, my magic is a little different. I can think of things, and as long as that thing is in my heart and it's connected to source, that thing is going to appear. We have the magic of creation as divine mothers, as divine goddesses, no matter where we are in our world.
That's right. That's right.
And, we don't all come to the same level, and we don't all come to the same place at the same time. So even as I am right now, there's still places that I need to elevate. There's still places for me to ascend to. I learned a lot from Abby, and we go back and forth with each other. He's helped me a lot with my magic because I had to ground myself. When we talk about the duality of light and dark and love and hate, all of those dualities exist within ourselves, in our consciousness. And that's where the true magic is coming. So it's not necessarily a person is doing dark magic. They have dark soul. They haven't seen the light yet.
That's deep. That's deep right there. I like what you said, people having dark thoughts, because sometimes people ask me about crystal work and doing candle work. I said all those things has relevance, but it's, again, your intention. What are you intending when you light your candle? What are you intending with the colors? Because most times colors will resonate with me. Like when I was in the Uluru Desert last night, the colors that resonated with me was purples and pinks and crystalline whites, because that's the energy that's around me. So that was the healing energy for my chakra. But there are people out there who get involved in candle magic, who get what we call dark magic. I've seen it work with other people. I've never practiced dark magic because I've never been geared towards that. I've always been a child of light. I was always curious about dark magic, and I've seen people work that, but I've also seen the residue of it. I've also seen it work for the moment, but then the results are not what people are expecting. What would you say to people who are all of a sudden discovering this awareness or awakeness and start practicing magic without understanding the consequences? What would you say to someone like that, especially young people?
Don't do it. You can't practice magic if you do not know yourself. A lot of magic comes from self-discovery, self-realization, and self-empowerment. A lot of the things that I'm seeing with the trends is because people want to influence someone else's will. That goes against the will of God, period. It goes against that person's nature. You should never do anything to consciously change someone else's nature. That's not our job or our position. And I noticed a lot of people coming into the magic community are doing that so they can have an effect on how other people behave, how they think, and how they see them, so that they can get the upper hand to their own detriment, no less.
Very true.
Nothing you do goes without consequences. If I light my candle, I'm doing an energetic exchange between myself and the universe. I'm not lighting my
personal choice. It's a personal choice of what you feel inclined to do. Okay, so that leads us to people also. I see on YouTube, a lot of people are getting involved also in tarot reading, and sometimes I look at what they're doing, and my spirit automatically rejects it because I know better. So I'm like, what are you doing? You are going to damage more people than you're going to help. What would you say to someone who is thinking or about getting a tarot reading? What does that do for them? What would you say to someone who wants to go down that road?
Okay, so two things. You know, I do my channel, but I don't really do it because I've noticed things in the tarot community that don't sit right in my spirit. It's a lot of false information being spread, but it's a lot of people trying to appease audience for gain. That is not what tarot is for. It's for more self-awareness and additional guidance. It's no different than you seeking spiritual counsel with whomever it is that you may believe. You understand? If you have a specific ideology, you may go to your pastor. You may go to a counselor. It depends on what you believe. In regards to tarot, I think tarot is very personal because now you're getting into your energy. It's not just, oh, I'm going to lay out my cards and I'm going to tell you all these beautiful things. The world is in love with beautiful lies right now.
Isn't that the truth?
It is. And it's been misrepresented within the tarot community because what do they want to hear? They don't want to hear that you need to fix yourself. They don't want to hear that you need to do the work. For you first. They don't want to hear that what you're looking for is nowhere outside of you, but they lead people to believe this person is this for you. This is going to go that way for you because it needs their pockets. We're feeding egos, and you're supposed to feed the soul. The tarot community right now is feeding egos.
Oh, very true. Very true. Because I saw this young lady. She was doing very, very well, and then all of a sudden it became a thing of what she's achieved personally. And she's posting pictures of her Mercedes and stuff like that. And I'm like, lady,
you stop it because I know what you're talking about. You stop it. I left that one alone.
I said, lady, you are missing the point. You know, but if that's where she is in her spiritual development, I don't fault her. But those who are following her and not even understanding where she is, because if you're have you know what I mean? It's right now. It's for the universe. It's about how you are connecting with it, how you are connecting with the divine. And when she says lose everything and come be with me, then she literally means that lose everything, because what I'm giving you is so much more than what you have achieved physically. And there's some people who can't part with what they have physically because they're so attached to it. Well, so do I want to stay attached to temporary, or do I want to achieve more by connecting with the divine goddess?
Yeah.
It leads me segue into awareness and consciousness. Again, I'm seeing a lot of people talk about they're so conscious, but still go and do the things that makes you question, are you really conscious? My understanding of awareness, this is my take of awareness. I'm aware I have two legs. I'm aware I have two hands. That is an awareness. I'm aware that the sun is shining. I'm aware that the car is driving down the street. Does that make me conscious? No.
Not at all.
Okay, my idea of consciousness is how I connect with the divine within. Because everybody wants to talk about Jesus and God the Father and connect with the divine without first connecting with the divine within. How can I achieve anything if I ignore the God within my solar plexus? It's like the solar flare coming in. I saw a young lady dancing on this Instagram and talking about, oh, she got her DNA upgrade. Some people get it early, and I'm saying this girl doesn't understand because God don't function like that. Not the consciousness I know. When you get your consciousness and your awareness, it takes you down a path of settling you. It settles you. It takes you into a time of meditation, a time of channeling that positive energy, letting it flow from without, within, and back to the universe, such as what we're doing.
Right.
So when I saw her saying, oh, I got my DNA upgrade, I was like, wow. I mean, that's amazing to me that you're on Instagram and you're dancing, you're carrying on. That's not how the universe functions. That tells me that there's still some development there that hasn't happened yet. Now, being consciously aware, do you interpret what we're going through now as a people? Because we know the energy is feminine energy, but how would you interpret that and help others to understand this consciousness that's coming in?
Well, first of all, a lot of people have been forced into it. Okay? Hey, just so we know, this is the whole purpose of the COVID and the shut-in. It's intentional for the planet, even though the outcome is unintentional. Nobody knew this was going to happen, but we needed it. As far as the conscious awareness, you cannot be consciously aware of anything until you know you. And that is in the complete duality. So you know how you say, with the connection, the light and dark, we know we are that feminine energy. But for a long time, we operated in masculine. Because we've had to live lives, raise children, go to people's jobs, whatever it is that the fight was. Right now is the time to be more nurturing, which is why everyone's on punishment. The earth needs to be nurtured because its people need to be nurtured. But we have to self-nurture first. I can't heal you if I'm wounded. I can't help you if I can't help myself. There's no balance there. So all I'm going to do is feed you my spoils, which is going to further make it to your detriment. I'm not helping you. I'm giving you the same poison I've been taking because I failed to heal myself. That's where we need to be. That's the difference between being conscious and aware. I am aware that I'm a healer, but I am also aware that I don't need to. She said okay, you can't hear me really well.
The sound is not too good.
Oh, I don't like it.
Well, we've got some bad weather here in North Carolina, so that could be why. Because yesterday, if you saw the amount of chemtrails that were in the sky, it was amazing. They were, trying to drown out this energy that's coming through. So maybe you can move to a different part of the house. I can barely
move it.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. Let's. Okay, much better. Much better.
Anytime there's a message, I notice that the connections always go wrong.
Always go wrong.
We spoke for 2 hours the other night.
We getting feedback.
Very much. I don't like this.
Okay, well, let's see. Let's continue the conversation with the divine consciousness.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you.
I
can hear you, but the connection is not there. You're not there.
Oh. I'm trying to give you guys something better. I don't know why. All of a sudden my phone doesn't want to work.
Okay.
And I've been on FaceTime for hours. No issues.
That happens. Anytime you get in deep in conversation, it happens, right?
And listen, it's okay. What's for you will be for you.
That's right. So you want to share some experiences with your connection with the divine goddess?
Well, my connection is a little unique. I've been in hermit mode a lot lately, where I haven't been dealing with people. I've had to internalize a lot and deal with a lot of my dualities, so that way I can come to a place of calm and peace. So I can actually heal the people I love instead of hurting them inadvertently. By giving them half information is what I'm going to say. So I can tell you, if I can tell you my outcome, but I can't share with you my process, I'm giving you half information.
All in the process.
I agree. And in order for me to connect with the mother, I've had to be silent.
Yes.
I've had to put my ego away.
Yes.
I've had to let go of a lot of pride and allow myself to be vulnerable. And vulnerability is hard for a lot of people.
That's growth, though.
It is very much, because you have to look at you.
Yeah.
Look at the things that you don't do so well. Not the reasons. It's never, everyone's like, oh, well, I wouldn't have done this if it wasn't for this. No. Whatever it is I chose was a choice, regardless of the factors around me.
I always tell people everything that has happened in your life has led you to the point where you are.
Exactly.
When you're going through it, you don't quite understand it. But when you get through it, you see the lessons. And it's up to you to try to not to repeat those lessons, because I believe once you get the lesson, once you learn it, it's gone. Sometimes the universe will come and test you. It'll bring the same lesson, just use different people or different situation to see how well you would do it. So what I've learned to do is call on the divine goddess more.
Yes.
And I found this past week, I know with so much coming in from the cosmos, if you want to say being tempted, there's lots of thoughts have been flowing through. Not so much negative, but thoughts of, you can't do this. You're not going to do this. Girl, you're so silly. And it was self-talk. And I will find myself saying, oh, goddess, see me through. I'm a being of love and light. That's how I had to do my self-talk. For those two people who are coming into this awareness, because people have been reaching out to me and they're experiencing a memory of yesteryear, because what's happening with this cosmic energy coming in, we're beginning to remember who we are, because these are just shells, but the spirit within, the entity within, is beginning to remember who and what it is and what it's here to do. For me, I've connected with myself of 4 million years ago. I've connected with a time when the earth was just beginning. So when the trees were just growing, the crystal trees were on the planet. So it took me back to that time. Usually I can't see for myself, but it was a night when I was just quiet, sitting here, and that thought just came in. And I saw myself back then, watching myself. Other people have reached out to me, and they've had thoughts of being fairies. And one young lady was talking to, I hope she came on today, I was talking to her, and I said to her, that's because you were a fairy not too long ago. And she said there was this voice talking to her, and the voice said something about fae. So I said, yeah, because you've connected to Oya. Oya is the goddess of destroy, that she's a destroyer, the opening and the closer. I said, when she brings the rains, that's where you came in. So you work really with Oya. And she said, well, that makes sense. People are beginning to awaken to who they really are. What would you recommend, or what would you say to people like that who don't have that understanding of their lifetime ago? What would you say to them? Because I'm sure you've had that experience and you've worked through it. What advice can you give them?
It's a merging of the two. One, trust yourself, okay? You are not imagining anything. A lot of times when we start to have those memories and those realizations of who it is that we were, it's because of who we're becoming. We're coming back into our full power. And it'll make you feel like, and it'll make you think, well, maybe I imagined this. Maybe it was a dream far off. It wasn't. It's a time for those consciousness to connect. We cannot be whole and fruitful if we have these pieces missing.
Ooh.
We're not at a place where we can afford to discount ourselves. We can't forget ourselves. And you have to learn how to balance them out. So, like, it was really hard for me. I know I'm a warrior at heart.
Yeah, you are.
Very much so. But I've also had to take my current self, being a mother and a nurturer, and learn how to be a warrior that's softer, a warrior with compassion. Now, there was a time where I cut off heads and walk away and we're done. But we don't need to discuss it.
That's lifetimes. That's lifetimes.
Right. But now I can put the nurture in it and see, well, you know what? Is again, taking ego and pride out. It's no longer about me.
Yes.
I am obviously affecting you some way. Where I need to take a look at why we're at this place. Oh, okay. So my warrior wants to fight.
Yep.
Tooth and nail. She's ready. All the swords are out. But my mothering is like, come here, baby. Let's talk about this a little bit.
Yes.
I had to learn how to bring them all together.
Yes.
And be patient about it. Because I'm going to be honest, the process is hard. You battle between yourself. And it's never about the other person. You fight yourself. So anybody that comes towards you, you're automatically defensive.
That's why I said there's a difference between awareness and consciousness. Awareness doesn't, you know, the people who read books, they're aware. They're aware of all the knowledge, but that knowledge now has to work within. And becoming conscious, it's a journey. It's a journey. Sometimes you want to just leave alone, like, I ain't ready for this. I just can't. Sometimes. But when the divine consciousness takes a hold of you, and people call it the chosen, when she takes a hold of you, it is difficult for you to put that down. It's like a sweet, if you want to call it a sweet drug, you don't want to leave her alone, because you know what you just left, and you know what you're heading towards, because it's a promise. And she doesn't make exactly, you know. And there are people who get lost in between the two. I've started to filter a lot, and letting go of things and people you love is difficult. But you know, when you have connected to your soul family, and that's something we gotta get into and talk about soul family. We're touching on different topics because I'm trying to give people who are waking on different levels, and it's important that they connect with what we're saying. Right. Some of it will resonate for some won't. It won't resonate for others.
Well. A large part of the connecting comes from understanding and understanding. Not even under. We don't want to under. We want to over and understand. You know, you can't connect with something that you have no understanding of. If you don't understand or understand how it came to be or why it is. They're just different ways. And like I said, you know, we all come in at different levels, and we all grow at different levels based on what we can handle.
Exactly.
So even myself, through my growth spurt, I'm like, hey, y'all can talk to me, but you know, don't touch me. I'm like, hey, stop touching me. I'm going to sleep. I had that last week, and I'm like, hey, don't do that. You know? Can we wait a little while? It's about being able to be open and grounded without losing you.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, because I was talking to a friend on Friday, and she showed me the orbs. She showed me a picture of some orbs that are always around her. And these orbs are very positive. They're here to help her connect with her higher self. But we didn't really get into it. And I know I have to touch base with her again shortly to help her understand what that's about, because there's a lot going on here. And again, when you are chosen to be one to move forward to the next level, everything doesn't make sense. She was saying, you know, basically she was saying all of what she has, she's comfortable with it. But what I heard was, I want more. This doesn't make sense anymore. This doesn't fulfill my need anymore, because spiritually she's awakening.
Okay.
So what she levitated towards before, having all the material things that money could buy, no longer fills that hole. There's a void. but she doesn't know how to connect to the spiritual self.
That's going to come from purposeful and intentional release. It has to be a purposeful and intentional release. So, you know, people are like, how do you sit in your house all day and you're okay with not talking to anyone? First of all, I'm never alone. Between the Most High and my ancestors, I am never, ever alone. So that's not a thought.
Exactly.
However, in order sometimes to get where you need to go, you have to be willing to sit with you and God.
A lot of people don't know how to do that.
You got to be quiet. Well, listen, the thing is, we all get messages differently. There was a time when I would get them all through music because all I listened to was music.
Yes,
and like I said, what's for you is going to be for you. You're going to get it.
You're going to get it. That's the thing, because you're hearing all these people talk about the consciousness that's hitting the planet and the solar grids. And I want to shout out and say, hey, it's a big deal, but it's not that big a deal. Right. It's going to happen. Everybody is going to benefit from it. Every single person. Yeah. There are different degrees of it based on your awareness, your connection. There's a lot of different...
And your discipline. Discipline is a big thing. You know? Because a lot of people cannot handle certain amounts of power. They will abuse it.
Exactly.
So that's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. But you could be sitting in your living room. You could be walking on the beach. Once that solar flare hits. And the thing is, it's already been on the planet. It's just going to intensify. Because of the crystal grid, because of the light grids that's already happened. This is the last spur of it, because remember the triune, the Trinity, God the Father, God the Son, God the Mother, and this is the triune that's happening. So we're all going to get it no matter what. It is how now that you receive it and what you do with it. Some of us will get it where we move on. People are talking about ascension. The way they have explained ascension to me is not that we're going to physically leave the planet. It's that we're going to be functioning at such a high vibration that we no longer connect to the things that trapped us.
Right. Money,
no longer
lust,
connect to it.
Things like that. Gossip, slander, the things that keep us in the lower vibration.
Exactly. For me, my connection it has forced me to become, as you say, a hermit.
Right.
I spent a lot of time reading. I spent a lot of time researching. All of my books are here now. So I go back through my books and I'm like, how did I miss that? But I have it on the line. I'm like, why didn't I get that before? Because I wasn't ready for that. Then I leave that and I go to another book that connects me with something else. I'll hear something like, oh my goodness. Like last night, they took me to, because I was dealing with my solar plexus, the mother said to me, Uluru. And I went online to look at why I was hearing the word Uluru. And that is Ayers Rock in Australia. And I says, wow, this is interesting. And all of a sudden, I got this information coming in. Stop what you're doing and just lay down. And I did that. I listened. Usually I don't listen. It'll force me because it'll make me extremely tired. So I laid down and I was transported to Ayers Rock in Australia. Ayers Rock was created by the gods, and it is massive. It's bigger than the pyramids or any structure ever on earth. And when I started to do the research, that's where the angels come in. They brings in that cosmic energy, and angels flow in from Ayers Rock, and it's the solar plexus of Earth. And I was like, oh my goodness. So they were telling me I had to heal that. I have to heal that part of me of the solar plexus. Is what connects us to this cosmic energy that's coming in, the solar flares. So you're going to get that activation from your solar plexus. Right. So that leads me to people who've been experiencing, I don't know for the audience if they've been experiencing tiredness or shortness of breath, headaches,
ringing in the ears. My ear is ringing now.
Ringing of the ears. Right now I'm experiencing that. That's all that energy that's coming in, and it's coming in through your solar plexus. So it's preparing you for that massive energy that's coming, that alignment. So you're being aligned Your chakras are being aligned to receive that energy that's coming in. Nausea,
Yeah,
somebody said
definitely nausea. Because I have,
Nausea.
so, and what a lot of people don't understand is our physical bodies aren't as strong as our spiritual selves, which is why we need all of that sleep.
Woo! That's deep.
Look, I'm 5'1.5". I don't have a lot of physical space, but my spirit is huge.
Woo!
I slept for 12 hours last week, and I barely sleep. Some days, I told you, some days I'm up for 2 and 3 days at a row. And then I'll have periods of, I just need to sleep. I just need to sleep.
Yes.
Like right before we got on, I said, I'm going to have a little bite to eat. You know, I'm not going to do too much. And I instantly got tired. I said, well, why'd I do that? I said, nope, I'm staying up. I said, ain't no naps in here today. You're not going to make me miss this. I'm getting on my train.
That's right.
Look, I got a job to do. I'm going to do my job. Then I'll take a nap. But until then, you know, and a lot of you, you'll feel the tingling sensations in here. I get that all the time.
Being tired.
Yeah.
Just for no reason. I'm like, man, I just got up and I'm tired.
Well, then the appetite changes too. I know a lot of people are changing an appetite. Yes. So you might nibble a little bit. I do just enough to sustain this body, but I'm rarely hungry these days. I'm fed by something else.
Like something else. I eat because I have to.
Right.
You know, just for this body. And I've been eating a lot of fish.
Yeah.
And I started, I used to eat chicken. The only meat I would eat is chicken. And from March, every time I would have a bit of chicken, it started slowly. I would get this pain in my solar plexus. So I just got off the chicken like 2 months ago. She forced me off because I was still saying, the chicken is healthy, you know, not healthy, but it's protein, right?
Right.
She was like, no. I said, but I don't really like fish. I grew up eating fish so much in the Caribbean. I'm sick of fish. She was like, if you're going to get protein, if you're going to stay here a little bit longer, then this is what you have to do. So I left the chicken alone. And since then, I can feel the change in my body.
It feels lighter.
It feels lighter.
And it feels more charged. Well, see, what you'll notice is when you start to detox certain things from your diet, your electrical charge increases too.
Yes.
Like, I was walking by shocking myself touching the wall the other day. I said, hold on now. Wait a minute. I want to grab a fabric softener sheet and just rub it up and down or something because it was too much. I went to plug my phone in. It's a spark. I unplugged my microwave. I held on to the cord and it would not go off until I let the cord go. I said, wait, now this is something.
Ooh. You know
I don't use it often.
Ooh. Man, this is beautiful. And what I find too, I can manifest quicker.
Yes.
If I speak of something, like I was coming home, we were talking during the week, and I was coming home. It was overcast. You know, we in North Carolina, we get a lot of that because of the chemtrails. And I was like, man, I just want to see some sun. And I'm coming down the street, and all of a sudden, in the distance, I mean, it was like she did that just for me. I was like, thank you. And I'm grateful every second of every moment because that gratitude resonates differently now.
Say it again though. You're what?
I'm grateful.
It's the gratitude though. People don't understand. It's the gratitude. Because you're grateful. Even the smallest thing.
The smallest thing.
Smallest things. Let me tell you, every morning I wake up, I open all my shades.
And
I let all the sunlight in.
Just need the light. You
gotta let it in.
Light. But you know that light is the psychological light because we know the light is coming from her.
Right.
You know?
But you feel the warmth too.
Feel the warmth.
Because I stand in my kitchen every morning out this window and it could be cold in here because I get hot at night. Don't judge me. And I'll feel the heat and I just look and I said, thank you, Grand Rising. I make my coffee for myself and whatever else I do in private. And I go on about my day.
But she was trying to take my coffee. I said, Mama, you got to leave me with a little something because I like my coffee in the morning.
Well, I'm on it twice a week now. I might drink coffee twice a week. What I do is I keep the instant because every once in a while in the mornings I'll do like coffee and cake for the instant.
Yes. But I've
So
been using, yeah, you know, it's like we're being cleansed for this beautiful time. And this is a beautiful, beautiful time we're entering. And it's important we do sessions like this because it gets people on a right frame of mind because people are scared out of their minds. Again, everybody is awakening to truth and they don't have this. There are people out there floundering, they don't have this.
we'll see.
But
It's not that they don't have it. They can't trust what they have because there's so much of it being pushed out.
oh, that's deep.
You got to think about it. When the news sends out a bunch of things,
Yes.
the first thing they're going to do is try to decipher who's telling the truth about what because you have so many different stories.
Yes.
So now you have different sectors because we're all a spiritual community. But you have different sectors of the spiritual community coming out, and then you have those that have infiltrated that community.
Yes.
So, like, remember I posted yesterday, was it? I said, ancestor, the waste beads that are supposed to be sacred, they out here using them as fashion statement right now.
Ooh.
It's become such a trend that nobody understands or knows if the person that they're going to is truly for their highest good.
Exactly.
When they're not even for their own highest good. You got to think about it.
Yes, yes,
you know?
yes.
So when you have so much being funneled out so quickly and at mass amounts, it's just, it gets overwhelming and it shuts them down. And it actually blocks their attention. They're like, wait, I don't want to know anymore. Because I'm not even sure if what I know is correct.
Oh my gosh. Ooh! I am loving this.
You know?
Testify.
High five. But it's the truth. You know? And that's where we live in our power because if I know what it is that I do and what it is that I believe, and I know that I'm truly calling in my soul tribe and my spirit family, I am only going to gravitate towards those and they're only going to gravitate towards me. Yes. We sift through all the flour around here these days. Ooh. Nobody gets a free pass because I got on my rap crystal today. Okay, you called it a rock last week. What are you doing with it?
That was, you sounded like me last week when we were talking about I think one of the things we talked about was crystals. Yep. And if you don't understand what you have, it's just going to be a rock. Right. You know, you got to know the power that's within that. A small crystal has so much more power than people even realize. That thing can open you up to a whole new world because within that crystal is a whole new world. I remember Dr. Delbert Blair in one of his videos, he spoke about when he was talking about the cosmos and the other worlds. And he says before he became disconscious, he was by a friend. A friend took up a scoop of mold and put it under a magnifying glass. And he said there were all kinds of different bugs and, you know, there was a whole world going on down there.
Microorganisms.
A whole new world. And we would be the kings to those bugs. Right. Imagine how the angels are seeing us, or how the cosmos is seeing us, or how these draconians are seeing us. But the thing is, I said to people, those crystals is only a rock if you don't know how to intend what you have. It all comes down to intention.
And you got to power that crystal.
Exactly.
And you got to charge it, and you got to clean it.
You got to charge it.
And it's a tool.
Oh my goodness.
Like anything else that we use, it's a tool. If I pick up my hammer, I pick up my hammer to hammer in this nail. If I pick up these crystals, whether I'm working on my heart chakra, my crown chakra, or if I use my clear quartz, because I love my clear quartz for clarity, specifically, my crystals know what their jobs are. Exactly. Sometimes when I don't. Sometimes I have to sit like, listen, you tell me what you want me to do with you.
Woo!
Because there's much to be done.
It's what resonates with you. Because, you know, we put color the chakra to this crystal and that crystal. No, it is what your spirit needs at that moment. It may need the green quartz. It may need the clear quartz. You know, it may need some selenite. So you got to know and listen. Intuit means listen to what your internal self is saying and connect with it. You can't get to the next level. You can't get to the cosmos without first dealing with in here. And you got to do your work. Basically, you got to do your work.
So,
You know,
okay.
I'm not talking about that often. You gotta do your work to
She
connect
still
with
got
the
to do some work because
partner.
she don't need to be talking to these people like that.
Woo!
She need to
But
heal.
be honest for another time.
That's an authority issue.
The
I'm not
universe just cut
sorry.
my phone off. The universe said, "Nope, you're not serving. You're not serving the people well, so you're done."
Right. No, we're not doing that. But this is true. We got to work in here. So, like me, I used to run from confrontation because I was afraid of how my anger was.
Yeah, yeah,
I know
yeah.
what my job is. I sit down with my crystals like, hold on, wait a minute. Can we get a little calm real quick? Why your blood boiling? You shouldn't care that much. Oh, it's not you that cares. It's your ego that does. It's your pride that's hurt. Oh, forget about your little
Man.
feelings. Let's think about the big picture.
Yep,
Let's
yep.
raise past that so we can go
Oh
out and
my
help
God.
people.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. So, Queen, I mean, we can go on and on and on.
We're
I
not going
am
to do that to the
loving.
people like that tonight.
We can do that. It leads us to intuition, because since we touch on it, on intuition, give us your thoughts on. Oh yeah, it's telling me the time. We're gonna give them 5 more minutes, Queen.
That's fine.
Okay. Give me
5
your
is just time for
thoughts.
change.
Give me your thoughts on intuition, and how do you connect with your inner self? What work? We talk about work, and we talk about we're talking about doing the work. What is a basis to get people start doing the inner work?
First, on the intuition, like I said, you have to trust it. Your first thought is not wrong. When you second guess yourself, that's when you make mistakes. So I had to go back and look at the times where I might have said, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this, and then turned around and changed my own mind.
Yes.
And had to suffer a consequence because of it.
Exactly.
But I knew. And in my mind, I'm like, now you know you shouldn't have did that. You should have just did. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, but it's too late now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We got to stop waiting for those too late moments.
Yes.
If you're about to walk out the house and something tells you to put that bag down and wait 5 minutes, you put that bag down and wait 5 minutes, because whatever you was going to get to is still going to be there. But that could be the difference between you not being there.
My thought is, it was for you, gonna be for you.
And you're going to get it.
It was for you. You
Right.
know? You know, we said home in the islands, we said too late, like Elliot. But what's for you is going to be for you. Whether it's today or tomorrow, it's going to be yours.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. My thoughts on intuition is, as you said, listening. I wasn't a good listener. I would hear, and then Abby's going to go off and do Abby.
Guilty.
Because I know better. I know better. Who are you to tell me anything? That's how I saw this quiet, still, small voice that would come in. I was like, no, I got this. And I go and make the mistakes. I was just, man, I should have listened. So I started listening more. It may not always make sense the way you have been taught.
Well, you got to unteach.
You know, it may not always make sense, but eventually it works out. I remember working with a young lady in Texas, and I was training her, basically, young girl, and she would ignore me. And she did everything that was negative to get me fired from the job at the time. And the spirit came to me one day and says, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And I was tempted because I could see all she was doing. And I said, okay. And I pulled back. I said, okay, you got this, mama. And sure enough, within a week, everything started to fall apart because I stepped back.
Well, that's that karma.
Exactly.
The thing is,
I listen. There are many people who will say the spirit. They tell them. We say in Barbados, we says a mind. We call it a mind. The mind is God. A mind tell me not to go down the street, but I still went, and this is what happened. Because that mind was God. That was your higher self protecting you.
Yep.
So when I explain that to people, that mind is your higher self protecting you from what you are walking into.
And
But
that's why you got to
because
trust
we've
it.
been programmed to live outside of ourselves or to see our God outside of ourselves, we kind of act as our own external God. And the Africans always listen to the God within. You know, they always listen to that God within. But we through slavery and everything else, we threw that away. We
Well,
threw our connection to God away.
we're living in what I consider a conditioned culture. We've been
Ah,
conditioned by
conditioned culture.
a system that was never
Mm-hmm.
built to benefit us in the
Ooh,
way that we needed.
that's right.
That made us so far removed from who we are and who
Yep.
God is that it takes a lot to turn it around sometimes.
Yes.
You got to
Yes.
break yourself down and
Yes.
rebuild yourself. And I'm
Yes.
saying in the mental process, you have to
Yes.
learn how to unlearn.
We have to
And in
unlearn.
doing so, I can be the first person to say, hey, I don't know everything. As a matter of
That's right.
fact,
That's
in
right. Yep.
comparison to the vast amounts of information that's out there, I would say I don't know anything because it's that much.
That's
And
right.
it's a
I know what
continuous
I know.
experience. Right.
Yes. Yes. And the forums like this is important because what we know, a little of what we know, we're sharing with everybody else.
Right.
And hopefully they can now take some of the essence from this and and apply it to their lives or share it with other people. And
Right.
that's what helped us to become even more consciously aware, collectively,
Right.
because we can't do this by ourselves. This is a
No.
collective effort. This
Well,
is
see,
humanity.
and that's where doing the work comes in. If you can't
Hmm.
put your ego and your pride to the side to say, hey, Abby, I need you,
Right, right,
how
right.
can
Same
someone else
here.
come to us with their needs?
That's right. That's
If
right.
I can't be vulnerable with my spirit family, how can people
Hmm.
outside of the community feel comfortable coming in?
That's right.
We're
That's
not
right.
giving and showing the same type of love and respect and nurturing that we expect them to follow.
That's right. As Ocho said, we must be the change we wish to see. You
Right.
know? Well, my queen, we've gone past our time by what, 20 minutes?
Oh, have we?
Yes.
I
And
don't
I
watch the clock when I do my job. I just clock in, and when he say it's over, it's over.
listen, no, I know we can go on if you want to, but I wanted this today to be special, um, because come tomorrow starts the winter solstice,
Yes.
and what was given to me, I'll share with everyone. The hours of 9, 12, 3, 6. Those are the hours. Those are the hours that you connect. The solar flare is already hidden, but it's going to be more potent around those times. 9, 12, 3, 6. Um, if you want to do your meditations with family, that's wonderful. You can do it by yourself. Um, it's a grounding energy. This energy that's coming, that's on the planet, it's not about us. We will benefit from it, but it's not about us. This is about Earth.
Right.
This is about elevating the divine goddess from who we came and who we go back to. She has lessened herself so that we could exist here. She has waited for thousands of years for this moment. So the energy that's elevating her, we're going to benefit from. But it's not about us. How
No.
we help her, this is about helping her. This is about us giving back to her. And how we help her is grounding ourselves. So if you
Yes.
can get close to water, whether it's a basin of water or your tub, or a lake or the ocean, wherever you are on this planet, during those hours, 9, 12, 3, and 6,
They're
spend
all
at least
increments of 3.
of 3, spend at least 12 to 15 minutes invoking positive light and love to her, speaking to her and with her, and letting her know that you are here to help her reach the next level, because she's in 5D mode. She's headed towards that way, and we're going along for the ride. We are out of 4G going into 5D, and they're different levels, but she's headed towards that level of consciousness. So she's
Right.
going to start throwing off those who are not beneficial to her growth.
Well, one thing I would say is
Mm-hmm.
for anyone who's looking to have a positive experience, you have to cleanse your heart.
Yes.
You have to cleanse your heart, and you have to keep your
Be as
thoughts
light
pure.
as the feather. Be
You
as
have
light as the
to.
feather.
So it's
As
going
we,
to be a lot of
yeah.
things tomorrow
Yes.
that's going to try to upset the balance,
Yes.
specifically because of the importance of the day.
Yes.
Keep a conscious mind about you
Yes.
and
Yes.
understand that anything that someone brings to you, their issue is not with you, it's with the Most High. Don't get
Woo!
involved.
Oh, you gonna make me run around this room,
Go
girl.
ahead. You can take a run. I'm not. Last time I ran, I ended up in a splint. Look.
So that's the downloads they give me to share with you guys. You don't have to do it every hour, but pick one of those times to help to send that positive light and love to the earth to help her. She's already healed, but it helps her to get to her journey, and we are along for this ride.
Yeah.
Okay, 9, 12, 3, and 6. Get to the water, and as you stand in the water, you don't. If you have your crystals, great. If you don't, still great. Just get to the water and put your hand outstretched, as the Egyptians did, and just speak to the cosmos, and that energy will flow in from her. The centripetal and the centrifugal forces will come in, through, and up.
Well, and if you can't do that, a nice shower
Mhm.
will do. I keep my
A
crystals
nice
in the
shower will
bathroom
do.
too, with
And
my
it's
Aziza
important.
body wash.
That's for those who don't understand the importance of the water is the plasmic energy. Is
Right.
plasma. The water carries is the blood of the goddess. So don't care where you are. Reach out and speak positive affirmations for the earth to help her heal. Okay?
And get in the habit of saying grand rising. Speak. I
You
don't just
know,
pray. You don't just pray and meditate. You want to
right.
greet the earth the same way you greet your loved ones. Grand rising.
Exactly.
Good afternoon.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
might just wink. I love you. I saw that little bit of sunshine.
Speak your incantations. Just even if you just step outside barefoot for a second so that she can feel your energy because believe me, she feels everything.
Yeah.
She feels and intuits everything. The earth is a living entity. And I know for most people it's difficult to see the earth or hear about the earth on that vein, but it's a living entity that has carried us. So it's our time to give back to her. And the 21st is only the beginning. It's only going to get stronger as we move forward. As Saturn and Jupiter align, and they're not going to be a fully alignment, but this is the closest they've come to in 800 years.
Yeah.
After this, there's going to be another alignment in 2024 and 2030, but it's not going to be as close an alignment as it is going to be tomorrow. So that's very, very key. So between that, and a lot is going to happen within the week. Don't get caught up in all the political stuff that's going on because that too has its own purpose for happening.
Well,
It
so
has its own purpose.
if we can detox from just media tomorrow in that
Yes.
aspect, anything
Yes.
that's going to bring anything negative to the vibration,
Exactly.
that would be most beneficial for yourselves moving forward. You know what you
Yes.
can handle. So if
That's
you know how to
right.
block off your energy and you know how to protect yourself and your loved ones where you can just go on about your day, listen to what you
That's
listen
right.
to, watch what you watch, I say go ahead
Yes.
and do that. But if you can't and your mind is easily influenced by what you hear in mass doses, tune it out.
Ooh. Yes. Yes. And I agree, concur with everything Nyasha just said. Block out social media. You don't want to hear anything or read anything about anything that's going to affect that energy because this is very important. We're not doing this just for us. We're doing this for the collective
Right.
because we can't get there by ourselves. We got to get there together.
Right.
Okay? So this is a big change, and it just doesn't affect us. It affects all the realms.
Well, see,
All
also,
of the realms.
it affects generations. This is when we start going into actual
Yep.
legacy.
Yep.
And, whether you're male or female, you
Yes.
all have a part in the divine legacy.
Exactly.
The man plants the seed, the woman carries it. There has
That's
to be
right.
a way for these energies to get where they need to be. It's all
Exactly.
about legacy, and we got to kind
Exactly.
of keep it clean. Nobody's perfect. I do the things that I
Exactly.
do, not as much because I've gotten really boring. I'm not exciting anymore. But, it helps me. So that way,
Yes.
when I'm in situations where someone needs something, I can go in
Yes.
and heal them. I've walked in a
Yes.
store, and the girl
Yes.
told me her hand hurt. Just give me your
Yes.
hand, baby. And she texted
Yes.
me, she was like, how did you do that? It's a couple
Know
of
it
things I
and
do.
leave it, do it. That's right. That's right. And if you see someone, because you don't know when you'll be entertaining angels.
Right.
Maybe we could have a session during the week because I said this was going to be last for this because
Okay.
of what the energy will into it. I don't know
Okay.
what the divine goddess will ask for me to do next, but this was very important because whoever this message needs to get to will
They
get it.
got it.
They got it. I believe that in my spirit. So I'm really excited about what's coming for us and what we will see. There are entities that are showing up on the planet that look like us. They're people from the other realms. They look like us because they're part of us.
Right.
They're black like us, if you want to call black or brown. They look like us.
Right.
Okay? They regular. You don't even know that that's somebody from a different realm because the realms, the toroidal fields are starting to dissolve, and we are going to see the alignment of all of the planets.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Saturn and Jupiter, they're luminaries. Okay? Our sun is a direct reflection of something else behind that sun. Our
Yes, we
sun is
discussed that.
just, they had to filter the energy that way so that we can connect to it with our melanin. But the sun behind that sun is being charged by other suns from other galaxies. So they're working in unison to help humanity elevate to the next level.
Well, it's going to be a lot of energy shifts. I'm going to say personally, the biggest shifts began in August.
Mm.
The 8-8 portal was very
Uh-huh.
significant. That's when I started cutting people out of my life. Oh, this doesn't work for me.
Ooh.
I don't like this attitude. I don't like this energy. Nope, you can't do no. And it was
Yeah.
some of my own stuff. I had to look at my stuff. Hey, sis, I don't like your
Yes.
attitude or your energy.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that's when I had to go in, well, why are you like that with certain people?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. We got to clean our hearts and keep
Clean
our
our heart.
minds
Yes.
as
Yes.
pure and straightforward as possible. Now, the
Yes.
journey is never easy, and I'm be honest, sometimes it can be lonely if you're not used to
Yes.
being by yourself.
Yes. You know,
However,
yes.
if you use that time wisely, just to
Yes.
know you, get back to your
Yes.
creative ventures. You like to write. You don't
Yes.
connect more with God than you do when you're being creative. And you're doing that with your
Woo!
childlike heart and your childlike mind. Those
Oh,
are the things that always fed you. Do the things that feed your soul. Then you can
yes.
raise the vibration and feed the collective.
That's right. That's right. So on that note, family, Nyasha and I will discuss maybe coming sometime during the week. If Nyasha does a session, I'll come on, vice versa. And let's continue the conversation to help elevate each other. Tomorrow, have a wonderful day. Whatever you do, do it with the right intention in mind. And we can maybe meet back here tomorrow evening just for a quick meditation. It's up to you, Nyasha. Just for a quick
It would
meditation.
be after 7.
Yeah.
I'm available after 7, but we can work something out.
We'll work something out and just to help people to connect from the collective because the divine energy will flow right through. All
We'll
right?
do what we call a wellness check-in tomorrow.
A wellness check-in tomorrow. All
Okay, we
right?
can do that. Yes.
Light it up some more. We will definitely do that. So on
Okay.
that note, people, love you, Nyasha. Thank you
I love
so
you too,
much.
Abby. Thank you guys for joining.
Yes, thank
It was
you
a
guys.
pleasure.
And we will see you guys back here tomorrow. All right?
Yes.
Have a great week, beginning of your week, guys.
You
Peace
too.
and blessings.
Blessings, everyone.